So hi guys, today we are going to talk about now next is Docker. I think you have practiced all the questions that I given to you in the last class. So today we are going to talk about Docker admin commands. Like what are the basic admin commands that you have to know about Docker whenever you are making a container or whenever you are analyzing something in the container itself, then what are the commands that are useful for the same. So suppose we are running a container. So how can I run a container? First we have to check the Docker images. So suppose I have a Docker image like suppose of Nginx. So there is a command to run that. Docker run -d means you can detach that volume and get back to the terminal directly. It will run in the background process. So after that we have to give the name. If you want to give the name, that's in your choice. So I'm giving the name like Nginx underscore v1 and I'm running that Nginx image. So if I run this image and check that it's running or not, so you can see there's a name of Nginx v1 container, it's running, because by docker ps command we can check whether it is running or not. So in the ps command is showing that, so means it's running. But the thing is now, how can you know more about a container? Because container it's itself like its own parallel space, like IP address, volume, host name, addresses, everything its own. So how can you know more about that? So that's why I'm talking about a command that is inspect. What the meaning of inspect here is, it will inspect everything about that container onto your system. So suppose you want to know about a container that its name has nginx underscore v1. So just you have to write docker inspect nginx underscore v1. What that means is now it will tell you how many processor, IPs, MAC addresses it have. So it will show you everything that you want to know. So this is kind of like 100 or 200 of lines, like starting from here. So ID is this, state is running or not, like this. And if you want to directly see the MAC addresses and like MAC address and IP addresses, so you have to see here in the bottom side that MAC address is this one, and the IP address, if you want to check that, this is like this. So this is how you can know more about a container. Suppose you want to know about CPU system, CPU, RAM, and everything else. So that there it is. CPU real-time runtime, memory reservation, swappiness, how many time it's running or not, like that only. So this is how you can check about a container. So you just have to actually know more like this. Sorry, that the name is Nginx v1, and you have to, every time you will get IP address, this one. So the IP address is 172.17.0.2, and if you want to see what is the on the web page, you can just directly open a Firefox browser, and that we can open that IP, that is 172.17.0.2. But the thing is, it will show you the by default page of Nginx. If you wait for some time to check the web page of Nginx that I run, so you can see there is a web page that is by default of Nginx. So we just have to wait one more minute to check. Now you can see the IP address of the container is this one, and there is a web page that is customized, not customized, that is by default page. And I'm sure you know about echo command or HTML code, that you can write your own code in .html format. So every time you have to write the HTML code only by the name of index.html. Whenever you make the code in HTML form, you have to give the name of the file. File name should be index.html, because whenever you try to run a web server, no, so it will automatically return in the configuration file of them server, like nginx, httpd, and many more. So you have to every time make a index.html file. So now what I'm doing is I'm creating a new HTML file for the Nginx web server in the container. So I'm opening by Vim editor, Vim is the editor. I'm opening a file that is index.html, and you can see there's something written out there. So I will remove that. Now, if I want to write some customized message like welcome to my container of Nginx, like you can show anything that you want. If you know HTML code, you can type HTML code also, like title, all other things are. But I have to write welcome to my container on Nginx. So if I save this file, but the difference is I written that code on the base machine. Now, how can you put this code into the Docker container? I told you in the last class that there are two methods to go inside that container. I'm sure you remember that. I'm sure. Okay. So there are two methods, that is Docker attach, that you can go inside a container without SSH. It's like directly container attaching to your base machine. Or the second method is Docker. Do you know everyone? Exec, I told you. So there are two methods, that is Docker attach, and there is second method is Docker exec. Now, the main difference between these two are the whenever you attach a Docker container and when you exit from there, it will delete your container or exit your container directly. It will not running anymore. But if you try to exec into the container, it will try to go inside that, and whenever you come outside by exiting or something like that, your container will be running. So I will give you an example right now. Suppose there is a running container that is nginx underscore v1. So if I attach nginx v1 to go inside that container, you can see now I'm inside the container, or it will take time to attach my container. So if I again check that, it's not running now because we run a command that is bash. So now what we have to do is we just have to run it again. This is run -it d for daemon, sorry, hyphen name. I'm giving nginx underscore v2. See, whenever I run this container, no, I didn't give you it here. It means interactive terminal. So that's why it's not attaching that. Whenever you give it, it will attach that. So name nginx underscore v2, and what is the image that I'm going to use? That is nginx one. Now, if you can see, it's a container running. Or if you try to check the web page, so the same thing that you can do by opening the Firefox. So there is a command that is curl to show the web content page onto your terminal directly. So you can see welcome to Nginx and something written over there also. The same default web page of Nginx. So you can see curl, this one, it's running now. But if you see Docker PS and try to attach that, attach nginx v2, it's now again not attaching that. Can you tell me now why? So this is the main difference between it and d. So if you cancel that and try to exec and it and the name of that running container. The container name is nginx underscore v2, but the thing is you have to give at least argument that what you want to go inside or what you want to do inside that. So what is that? Container is not running. It's again container, is not running. Now why it's not running? Because whenever I try to run a container by it or something itd and name suppose nginx underscore v3, we have to specify what command you have to run in that. So suppose if I run the bash command and remove the d, you can see you can directly go inside that. So now I'm in directly in a container. If you want to check, then docker ps is the command, and that is nginx underscore v3 that is running now. So now what you have to do is you have to just run it again. Okay, so that is docker run hyphen itd name I have given and the image. So it will run a nginx container, you can see here, and now you want to attach that or you want to go inside a container, so you have to use docker exec hyphen it, the name of the container that you are given or that you want to go inside that, and one argument as a shell command to give, if you want to get the terminal of that container, you can use bash, sh or anything. So now I'm trying to use sh. Now you can see I'm in a container itself. There is no name, but the shell is the responsible for the name. So I'm using sh. So it's showing sh shell, not the name. So if you want to go usr share nginx html, this is the by default directory. This is the by default directory where the index.html code is kept. So you can see there are two files, that is index.html and 50x.html inside the container only. So if I open a new terminal again here, so you can see there's a container running by the name of nginx underscore v5, and we are inside the container. If I want to check the content of index.html here, you can see that is welcome to nginx and the same that is there only. So now what we have to do is we have to just check is that container running or not. So you can see welcome to nginx is there, but now the thing is I have to change the content. Either I can use vi editor and open the file, that is index. Okay, vi is not there. I think echo is there. Yes. So what we can do is we can just edit that. So echo hi from the container, or you can write hi from the nginx container, and try to give this message into the index.html file. Now if I try to check the content of that page, you can see that is hi from the nginx container. Now the thing is, whenever you check the IP again in the browser or by curl command, you will get to know that your content will be changed. You can type anything here to change the content, like hi from second container, to check again is that running or not smoothly. Then you have to change again the web page. Now what you will see here, hi from second container, hi from second container. So this is how you can change the Docker container page to show the web services. But the thing is, you have not access. Suppose you do not have any, you do not come inside the container. You can't go inside a container, but uh, you have to change that. Means from the outside container, you want to change the content. What you can do is, now you remember that I come inside that container by the exec command, exec. So if I like exit from here, and before exit I will show you that its container is running. Okay, so if I exit from here also, that container will also run, but in the docker attach you cannot do the same thing. Suppose if I go inside that, but it will not go. Okay, but the major difference between exec and attach is only whenever you exec no and exit, it will run your container. Your container will be running in the exec one, but if you attach and exit, your container will be deleted. This is the main difference. So it's better to go inside a container by the exec command, that is docker exec exec -it for the terminal and the name of the container. and any argument like bash or sh to get the terminal only. Now the question is, how can you make that web page? Okay, I attached that, so it's not running till not now. So what I will do is I will delete that. So docker rm nginx underscore v5. But if I want to run again docker, or you will get to know that nginx underscore v5. Okay, so docker run hyphen it. What is the name? Name nginx underscore v5 and the name of that container. Okay, sorry, itd. I forgot to detach that container. Oh, same name, so I have to change the name again. So now you can see there is a running container, and the code of that is by default. This is the by default code. But the thing is now that how can you change the content without going inside that container? But you know one thing, that you have to change the path or the file code into the location of this one, user share nginx html, and inside that we have a file that is index.html. We have to change this file. Now the thing is, how can you do without going inside a container? So what you have to do is you have to make a container, sorry, the image, or you can say a file by index.html, and you can type anything in that container to show on your web page that is welcome to my container on nginx. So this is the thing that you have to know. Okay, so after saving this file, you have to share this file to the docker container. Now the thing is, you can directly copy that file into the running container. But how it is possible to send this file or copy this file to a docker container file? So the thing is that you have to remember for this thing that you have to docker cp is a command to copy something, to copy a file that is index.html on the host machine, but we have to send that. And where we have to send that? In the name of this one, because we have the container name that is nginx underscore v6 colon, on which path you want to share that. So I have the path, and we have to share that only, like usr share nginx html, because whenever we copy this one to here, it will directly, you can see there. But till now, what you can see, this one, the container is running with the default web page. But if I try to cross it now what you will see, that is welcome to my container on nginx. So this is the difference thing, that you can copy your web page or index.html into the container directly. By which command? That is docker cp name of the file, name of container, colon. You have to remember that colon is necessary, and you have to give the location. The location for the nginx web server is always be nginx usr share nginx html. So it will copy directly your page to the container. So this is how things work in the docker scenario. Now the next topic that we have to learn is, suppose you are running a container that is this one, and you can also see this one, like welcome to my container or nginx. But suppose you are in production environment and you are pulling something, the docker image, and you set up like your wish, like you have make a web server of any e-commerce website on the docker container. But now the thing is, your friends also want the same image. But the thing is, whenever you pull the image from the Docker Hub, it will take you directly normal page. You have to configure by yourself. Suppose there are two persons in the production environment. First pull the CentOS image and changes something to show the web page of e-commerce website. But your second friend wants the same image that you are running on the e-commerce website, but if he will remove or pull the CentOS image, it will not get directly. So what you have to do is you have to share your Docker container that is running the e-commerce website, because the base image of Docker image you will run, that is by default will take. Like whenever I run Nginx image now, you can see there's always a welcome default page. You have to configure that as your opinion. Okay, so whenever you try to pull 100 of CentOS image, you will get by default default image, default page. But if you done the changes in the web page, like suppose you are running a e-commerce website on the Docker container, how can you share that container? This is the main thing that you have to do. How can you share the Docker container that you are running with the e-commerce website to your friend? So there are two things that you can share. You can share image, yeah, or you can say a Docker image you can share, or a Docker running container you can share to your friends. Okay, but how? This is the most important thing that you have to know. Because why we are doing this? Like why we are sharing that? Because we do not want to do it many times. We can save that image to ourselves, and whenever we need that, we can run that same thing, and it will run by default e-commerce web page. This is the main thing that we have to do in this scenario, because in the base machine you only download the base image and default web page. But if you want directly download and run the e-commerce, you have to make a e-commerce running container. You can save it in your machine, and you can directly share that image to your friends to run the e-commerce same container. So now the thing is, if I run a Docker PS to check my running containers, and you can see there is a web page running that is welcome to my container on Nginx. But the thing is, like whenever you try to pull an Nginx image and try to run that, you will get a by default welcome page. But what you want, that you want to run directly this container, or you can say this code. So how can you do that? So you have to make a tar file. I know you remember the tar section of the Linux class. What is a tar? It is like a zip, or you can say compressed file that you can save in your system and share that by on email or on network sharing system, like that only. So how can you make that? This is the main important thing that you have to know. So if you want, so there are two things. You can share the image directly, that is Docker image, or you can share a running container. So first we have to know about a running container. So whenever you want to save your running container and share that, you have to use export command, that is docker export. So this is the thing that you have to know, docker export. Now which container you want to export, which container you want to export, so you have to give the name of that. So I think that is 6.1. Okay, so I want to export the nginx underscore v6, or you can see that the same name. Okay, that is the same nginx underscore v6 hyphen o, means you can say output file. Hyphen output means whenever you export a docker container that is running container, you can by which name you want to save that. So hyphen output means you want to give a file name. So I'm giving the file name as same, like nginx underscore v6 dot tar should be there. You have to remember, whenever you try to export an image, you have to give an output file name. By any name you can give, but the extension should be .tar every time. So now what it will do is it will export your running container to an tar image by the name of nginx v6. So if I enter here now, you can see it will processing the image to export in the file name of nginx underscore v6 dot tar. Now the thing is, after completing this one, you can check is that there a file by the name of nginx underscore v6.tar by ls command. But what is the ls here? To list all the files and things. So you can see there is a file with the name of nginx underscore v6.tar. How can you check the size of this file? So there is a command du-sch to check any folder, any file size. So if you want to see, then you can see here there is a 123 MB of this size. The file size of this file like nginx underscore v6.tar is 123 MB. Now, if you want to share that, you can share directly. Like, how can you share directly? By network file system, FTP, drive upload, or you can share by a pen drive, anything. You can share your to your friends that this is the container image that I'm running, e-commerce website, or and code that is this one. By default it's running this one. So you will get, whenever you export import in your system the image, you will get this by default web page. Now what I'm doing is, now you have done with your container image. Now suppose you shared this image to your friend. So the friend can see this is the file. Now how can your friend will make this as a Docker image? Because while you, if you get the image, you will get the container also, because whenever you try to run a container by the image, it will run a container directly. So the Docker import is the command to import the file, that is tar file, into your machine. So you just have to give the name. So Docker import, what import will do in your system, it will import that tar file as a Docker image in your system. So if I show you first that how many images I have, that is Docker images, I think 336, 39.11. So 11 images I have right now. Okay, but the thing is, I have another image that I have to get back into my Docker image repository. So you have to run Docker import nginx underscore v6.tar. After importing, you can see it will importing the image into your system. So it will take some time to import the tar file into your Docker images. In that, what we can do is we can just Docker images, and you can see there is a new image with none tag. Now we'll talk about tag today only, but the thing is, you will get to know that export import will work only on the container. Like if you want to share a container, you have to make an import like docker export, export docker export hyphen the container name and the output file name. But if you want to try to get into the Docker images of that same container, you have to import that. So I import that in my system, and now you can see another image with none tag. Now, what is the meaning of tag here? So tag, it's a name of a Docker images. You can see like this is the name of that, this is the tag, this is the repository, this is the tag. So if you do not give any tag, it will take latest by default. But if you give the tag also like version 1, version 2, like here you can see version 2, CentOS colon version 2. Now the thing is, how can you tag and Docker image? So this is how you can use or give any tag to a Docker image. That is Docker tag and the image ID you have to give paste here. On which Docker image ID you are giving the tag. So suppose I'm giving nginx underscore customize, you can say customized. So this is the only repository name that you are giving this one. Okay, but if you try to give him latest, it will take directly without giving him latest. Suppose if you want to go v2 with the v2, you can give it v2, but if you do not give anything, it will take directly a latest version. Now you can see I'm just given nginx underscore customize, but the tag is now latest. It will take the tag latest automatically. So this is how you can give a tag. Tag is just a name that you can remember, and this is the most important thing that you have to know about, because whenever you try to pull something from a Docker Hub, no, you can also make your own images to Docker Hub. But how? This is the thing that you have to know. So what you have to do is you have to just go to the Google Chrome browser and try to log in into Docker Hub. So this is the website that you have to make an account on, hub.docker.com. It will take time to reload, and you can directly sign up and you can make your account. So everyone, you have to make your account while seeing this video. So after that, I will tell you how we can use this Docker Hub by our login, our image ID, or username and the password. So you have to make on hub.docker.com. Okay, so this is the thing that you have to know now. Now the last thing that you have to remember is to how to save a Docker image directly. Suppose this I made from the Docker container, but the thing is, how can you make this one from the Docker image? So I showed you like Docker export and import to make that, but now the thing is, how can you make from the Docker image? So there is a command that is docker save to make a tar file, or you can say backup file of an directly Docker image. So suppose I'm making a save or a tar file with the image of this one, but again we have to give the output file name. So suppose save one.tar, I'm giving the name of save one.tar. What it will do is it will make a tar file of directly Docker images, not the container. We done that in the export import. We are trying to save an image, directly Docker image, into a file that the name of save one.tar. So if I enter that, it will take time to make that file that is save one.tar, and after that we can check what is the size of that file we made, that is save one.tar. So we'll wait for the same, that it will take time to make that image, and after making that image, we have to just check the file size. So how can you check the file size? There is a command that is du-sch. And what is the meaning of du-sch? You can directly du space hyphen hyphen help, you can check over there. You will get to know about du command more. So it will take time, we can wait for the same. Okay, now you can see also that Docker Hub is there. This is my account, and these are the my Docker images. So I have 8 images I have, and this is the downloads, that how many times my images were downloaded. So it's the Nginx version 2 is downloaded 394 times. So this is how you can make account, and in the meantime we can see that our file is made, but the file size is of 265 MB, because if I show you the Docker images size of this one, you can see that is 269, but the file size is 265 MB. Now this is our vsave, but we have to share that. Suppose you share this file, and now you have to go into your Docker images. So you just have to load that image. You just have to docker load and the image string, but this will load into your system only. So if now docker load accepts no argument. Can you see that? Docker loads accept no argument. So what you have to do now is you just have to give the file size like this, docker load -i and save one.tar. So now you can see the image is loaded with the name of httpd://new_1. I have the by default this one only, so you can check in your system that you will get the same thing, that what is the meaning of save image. Now the thing that you have to remember is what we learned today. that we can export or import our running Docker containers. What is the meaning of Docker inspect? I told you in starting of the class to know more about a running container, or you can say a container only. And the next thing that I told you, that is save and load. What is the meaning of save and load here? It will make a tar file for sharing the Docker image. This is for Docker images and this is for the Docker containers. And I told you to make an account on hub.docker.com, because in the next class we learn how to make our own images and how can we upload here also, that can anybody download that. So if I show you that, if you all guys search Docker search mdhack, because this is my username mdhack, so it will give you the name of my images. By the name of mdhack or username, you will get all the Docker images of mine. This is some another one, this is not mine, but these all are the mines. You can see docker.io is the base image hub, then the username, that is mine mdhack, and these are the images name. If you want to pull, you can directly docker pull and the name of that, like this one. If you want to download CentOS image, you can download docker pull by and this name. You can directly copy this and paste it here. It will directly download for you. So this is how hub.docker works. So you have to now make an ID on that, and you have to remember the ID and password. So if you try to see, you can see there are some images that we can use later on the course. So this is from my side today, and we'll meet in the next one. Thank you.